So again, I'm Marcelo. Thank you for being here, and well, let's start. So just a little context. I'm also Peruvian, and I'm from Lima, which is the biggest city in Peru, and arguably one of the biggest cities on 10 million people living on the city, which also represents the third of Peru's population. So, and this is a big thing. And the big thing about that as well is that up to 2010, we have no form of rapid transit. And so you can imagine on a city with 10 million people and no form of rapid transit, that's not a good thing. I'm sorry. So you can visit the city, no mobility, you have some famous, microbuses, which are local means, informal transit, all those things are basically a recipe for disaster. Consequently, trust in public transit is very, very low. Until, of course, that is in 2010. Peru's first bus rapid transit, also known as the Metropolitano. So, Metropolitano was opened in 2010. It was Peru's first form of rapid transit. It opened originally with 35 bus stations, represented 27 kilometers. This is the first time generations of Limeños, including me, saw some form of actual quality transit. And the Metropolitano was the beginning of a transit revolution in Lima. Because after a Metropolitano now, it moves 700,000 people a day, which is, by the way, 2 times more than our metro system, which was 350,000 people a day. It now counts 56 stations, and it has a total of 549 buses, with most of them being high-capacity articulated buses. So all of this is to say that the Metropolitano served for many things, but it also improved the public concession for public transit in Lima. In a survey of the Lima, which is an NGO that does surveys in Peru, normal transit has 40% of the satisfaction by its users, but the Metropolitano only has 6%. That's a big difference, especially for a country that used to hate its public transit system in, the city, of course, right? So, just a little, a little refresher of why the BRT is so important. So it just really made points, right? BRTs tend to be cost-effective, fast, economically, and high capacity. Cost-effective because many of the cities that choose to get a BRT usually have no other form of rapid transit. So that means they usually have a lack of infrastructure, or you don't have the necessary knowledge, the local knowledge to build this. But the BRT, it's only a bus, a very cool bus, but it's basically a bus, and it's way easier to perform than let's say heavy way home. Second point is very fast economically. You can see that little image over there, which I love, by the way, which basically shows the running way of buses and rails. The first type of running way, which is Class C, it's normal and not dedicated, not separated. So it's like your normal everyday bus, even here in the US, right? Step up from that is Class B. Class B is usually what more progressive cities try to do. They're dedicated lanes, but they're not separated. So, sometimes cars park on them. So there are improvements, or they're not ideal. But then the best class is Class A. It's both dedicated and separated, which basically for the Metropolitano is a good BRT system. So the Lima Metropolitano is Class A. It's both separated and dedicated. So it's part of the big part of what it was so many people. And of course, it's high capacity because I was saying most of the buses are high articulated buses, which means they can carry a good amount of people. And if done right, it can even compete with heavy rail at a fraction of its cost. Total cost of the first one for the Metropolitano was $261 million. Did you know what other what other countries are like, even America has like, implemented the second avenue highway, billions of dollars, but like other very expensive systems, you can compete at heavy oil at a fraction of this cost. So now look at the very important part, what's the cross requirements, right? Why is this important and why I think the purity, the specific example can be replicated and can serve as an example to American citizens. So, how does Latin American monopolies with a population of 10 million people compared to those of the United States? So, we do a very nice Venn diagram. And we're just going to start, with the basics, the obvious. The US has different things. Like, we love McDonald's. Well, in Peru, we love ceviche, our local dishes. But now, seriously, they both have people who do not trust transit. So that's the first big point. The second one is that despite American cities being wealthier than like Latin American metropolises, they still have a lot of monetary constraints. So being able to save a few million here, a few million there, a few thousand there, it really, it makes a big difference. And then at the end, most American cities lack infrastructure. And whether that's for car dependency or for some other issues, those 3 points make the BRT a great example that can be replicated across American cities. So, right, in the middle, the best scenario. So, both rapid transit can show quality transit can be a reality, especially for people who have never experienced it. Just like in Lima, just like I did, and the other 10 million Limeños did. In American cities, car dependency, as we all know, has been taking shape ever since the 50s, and like the interstate highway system, like for all of our cities. So now force people to not trust in transit. Just like in Lima, people were not trusting our transit system. So, Lima has shown us that how if you do a well-thought, dedicated, separated BRT system, it can show people that transit is not that bus that takes like 2 hours to get to like your job. It can be very efficient. And by the way, so this system has saved millions of hours to Limeños. It has made 25 to 45% time savings from north to south, which is, of course, a big deal. And with this, I finish. Thank you very much.